Tamar Braxton is right now in the hospital fighting for her life, because apparently there's been some reports that for everybody to pray for Tamar and her family. And this girl tweeted back, oh, who is she fighting now? You know, and it just makes me so upset when people have no compassion, man. Like, none. Like, this girl's in the hospital fighting for her life. That's what she's fighting for. And it's real life. This ain't reality TV.
The hospital was wrapped in silence, but the streets outside were roaring, sterile white sheets, steady beeps from monitors, and the sharp scent of antiseptic couldn't mask the storm that had erupted across Atlanta. And at the center of it all was Tamar Braxton. Just a few words from her hospital bed had turned the city upside down. Blogs were lit, timelines flooded with hashtags, and fans could barely keep up. This wasn't a whisper, it was a direct accusation, and the names she called out weren't small. She aimed straight at Yandy Smith and Mendeecees Harris. To understand the explosion, you have to rewind to the night that changed everything. Tamar Braxton, the woman known for her raw honesty and fiery presence, stepped into the evening like a flame hunting for fuel. Dinner at Ruth's Chris with Funky Deneva was supposed to be simple, just a birthday meal, laughter, and prove she could still shine despite her struggles. But once she made her way to V12 Lounge, the tone of the night shifted forever, and there he was, Mendeecees Harris, the man who built a reputation on silence while chaos unfolded around him, the man whose name had been dragged through every corner of reality TV. Yet he always survived by letting the women take the blows. Eyewitnesses swore that night wasn't casual. They said Tamar Braxton and Mendeecees Harris leaned too close, whispered too long, brushed hands like the room belonged only to them. But silence never lasts when Yandy Smith enters the picture. The moment she walked into that lounge, the vibe cracked like glass. People said they felt it before they saw a tension sharp enough to cut the music. Eyes darted between Tamar and Mendeecees and Yandy, the kind of triangle that can only end in fire. What followed has been riddled in 100 ways. Some insist Tamar laughed aloud, trying to keep it light. Others claim Yandy walked up with that calm, practiced smile, the kind of calm that hides fury beneath polished perfection. But one fact is certain, Tamar and Yandy clashed. You got a problem? Tamar allegedly snapped, her voice slicing through the bass. Do I? Yandy shot back, cool but deadly, her eyes sharper than broken glass. Phones went up, drinks froze. And in the middle, Mendeecees Harris, still and silent, just as he's always been, watching the storm swirl around him, untouched, letting women destroy each other while his quiet became his shield. But Tamar Braxton wasn't built for silence. Her voice rose, her shade cut through the crowd. You think you own him? She allegedly fired. That was all it took for the night to explode. Some claim a drink flew. Some swear Tamar slapped a glass. Others insist Yandy shoved it. Whatever it was, the club turned into chaos. Security rushed in. People screamed. And through the blur, one name spread like wildfire. Cousin Kesha. For love and hip-hop fans, that name is infamous. The same Cousin Kesha who once stormed a reunion stage and attacked Samantha, the mother of Mendeecees' child, while Yandy sat composed and innocent. The same cousin who always handled the dirty work while Yandy kept her image spotless. So when Tamar ended up bloodied, fans instantly made the connection. Tamar clashed with Yandy, and Kesha pulled up. By morning, whispers had turned into Tamar's own words. From her hospital bed she posted, I almost died. I was found in a pool of blood, my nose fractured, my teeth gone. I don't even know what happened to me. The internet went wild at first. Sympathy poured in. But soon the question started. How do you lose for teeth and not remember? How do you break your nose and not know how to the public? It didn't sound like an accident, it sounded like an attack. Then Tamar doubled down from her hospital bed, her voice weak but sharp. She said, I didn't just fall. I was attacked. And I know exactly who was behind it. Reporters leaned in. The world froze. And Tamar, swollen and bandaged, didn't stutter. Yandy Smith and Mendeecees Harris. It wasn't gossip anymore. It was a direct accusation. Tamar painted the whole scene, the whispers with Mendeecees, the sharp look in Yandy's eyes, the shouting, the flying drinks. And then she dropped the hammer. I saw her cousin. I saw Kesha. She was there. Don't let them lie. Don't let them spin it. Kesha pulled up. That's all it took. The internet exploded. Fans who had whispered about Kesha now felt vindicated. Tamar herself confirmed it. The same cousin who once stormed a stage was now storming her life, leaving her broken. And she didn't stop there. She turned to Mendeecees. You sat there. You let it happen. You didn't protect me. You didn't even try. You let me get dragged and stayed silent, like you always do. That silence is your weapon. But this time it almost cost me my life. It hit like a bomb. In one breath, Tamar exposed the triangle. Yandy pulling strings, Kesha doing the damage, and Mendeecees hiding behind silence. Even Funky Deneva wasn't spared. Tamar revealed she texted him from her hospital bed, telling him about her injuries and missing teeth, and his response: jokes, laughs, content. He even called her that lady. Tamar spat the words bitterly. After everything, he couldn't even say my name. That's not friendship, that's betrayal. And just like that, the silence around the story shattered. Tamar had spoken. She had named names: Yandy Smith, Mendeecees Harris, Cousin Kesha, Funky Deneva, all now burned under the spotlight. So where does that leave the players? Tamar, bloody but unbroken. Yandy, still posting polished family shots like nothing happened. Mendeecees, hiding in shadows, saying nothing. Kesha, nowhere to be seen but everywhere in whispers. Funky, cracking jokes while his friend lay in blood. And the real question echoing through Atlanta: was Tamar just being messy? Or was this the night whispers became proof? Because in the city, silence is never empty. Silence is strategy, silence is power, and sometimes silence is guilt. The hashtag KESHA pulled up swallowed Twitter whole. Memes spread like wildfire side by sides of Cousin Kesha's infamous reunion fight next to Tamar Braxton bruised in her hospital bed. Caption stung: same cousin, same playbook. Another viral post read: Yandy doesn't throw hands. Kesha fights for her, and then Tamar struck again from her hospital bed. She didn't just speak, she showed receipts. She posted a text she claimed was sent to Funky Deneva the very next morning. I'm missing for teeth. My nose is broken. I don't even remember what happened. The timestamp matched the night after the lounge incident. The words carry panic, desperation, and pain. Her caption hit like a knife. Friends who laugh at your pain are not friends. Men who sit silent while you bleed are not men. And women who send others to do their dirty work will one day face the truth. With that, Tamar wasn't hinting anymore. She was pointing directly at names: Yandy Smith, Mendeecees Harris, Funky Deneva, and yes, Cousin Kesha, all tied to her missing teeth, her fractured nose, her bloody night. The internet couldn't get enough. Bloggers replayed her post frame by frame. Fans dissected every word, and the louder Tamar spoke, the heavier the silence from the accused became. And that silence, it wasn't helping them. In Atlanta, silence isn't hollow, it's dangerous. And right now, their silence was painting them guilty. The verdict of the streets was already written. Tamar vied with Mendeecees Harris. Yandy stormed in. Kesha handled the dirty work. Funky laughed while she bled. Tamar was no longer a victim. She had become the voice, the one turning her pain into evidence. By day 3 after her confession, Atlanta was in flames. Every blog, headline screamed her name. Talk shows replayed her bloody face. Tamar's image had gone beyond gossip. It became a symbol of silence shattered, a symbol of revenge unveiled, proof of how one messy night with Mendeecees could spiral into disaster once Yandy and Kesha appeared in the shadows. And Tamar wasn't done yet. Bandaged, it was taped to her arm, eyes swollen but focused. Tamar looked into her camera and dropped the next bomb. Everyone keeps asking if I'm scared. And the truth is I am. But not of the truth. I'm scared of how far they'll go to. Bury it. Yandy Smith, you know what happened. Mendeecees Harris, you know you were there. And Funky Deneva, you know you covered it up. The internet froze. Tamar wasn't hinting anymore. She was naming names within minutes. Hashtags lit up. Hashtag TAMAR names. Hashtag NDY exposed. Hashtag Mendeecees. Hashtag Funky New Dot. And for the first time, Yandy's polished silence cracked. She didn't hold a press conference. She didn't film a live. But she posted a cryptic Instagram story, just a black screen with 12 words. Don't believe everything you hear. God fights my battles. That was all it took for the internet to explode again. Translation: she guilty. One fan tweeted, she's hiding behind God when she should be telling the truth. Another wrote, Yandy doesn't fight with prayers, she fights with Cousin Kesha. A third commented, tagging hashtag KESHA pulled up. Her silent strategy wasn't working anymore. Tamar's raw, bloody voice was too loud to ignore. Meanwhile, Mendeecees Harris was unraveling without saying a single word. Tamar kept repeating his name in her hospital videos, painting him as a coward who let her bleed. I watched him sit there, Tamar said in one clip. I watched him let it happen. Mendeecees Harris, you didn't say a word. You didn't stop it. You didn't protect me. You left me to die. Fans replayed that line until it burned. You left me to die. One Twitter user posted, Mendeecees Harris is worse than Yandy. At least Yandy defends what's hers. He just watches women bleed. Another added, silent men are the most dangerous. Mendeecees built his life on silence. Now Tamar's ripping it apart, and then came the receipts. Bloggers dug into old love and hip-hop clips, replaying moments where Mendeecees stayed quiet as fights exploded. They resurfaced Samantha and Yandy's clashes, They replayed Erica Mena's meltdowns. They found interviews where Mendeecees openly admitted silence was his shield. But now, silence looked less like survival and more like guilt. And Tamar wasn't sparing Funky Deneva either. She showed her text to him, timestamp and all, about her missing teeth. Then she spoke. You knew. You knew what happened to me, and you joked. You laughed while I bled. That's not friendship, that's betrayal. The internet turned on him viciously. His parody-wanted poster, once laughed at, now looked cruel. TikTok edits went viral showing Tamar's tears side by side with Funky's jokes. Comments were, "Ruthless, you're covering for Yandy and Mendeecees. You chose clout over Tamar's life. Funky Deneva, your laughter makes you guilty too." At this point, Tamar didn't even need to speak. The fans were writing the narrative for her. And the narrative was brutal. Yandy plotted, Kesha pulled up, Mendeecees watched, and Funky laughed. Then the whispers began, witnesses surfaced. One anonymous voice told a blogger, "I saw Kesha there. I won't say I saw her swing, but she was in the room." Another claimed Mendeecees was at Tamar's house. Don't let him act like he wasn't. He was there. Each rumor only made Tamar's words stronger. Memes multiplied. Tamar in her hospital bed with captions like "Silence doesn't heal broken teeth." Yandy smiling selfies overlaid with "She doesn't clap back. She claps silently." Clips of cousin Kesha rushing reunion stages captioned "History repeats itself." And then the celebrities chimed in. Erica Mena tweeted, "Funny how silence always tells the truth." Fans tied it straight to Yandy. K. Michelle went live. "I believe Tamar. I've been there. These women fight dirty." Even 50 Cent posted a meme about Kesha with laughing emojis, pushing the story into mainstream chaos. By now, Tamar was no longer just an R&B star tied to messy headlines. She was a survivor, turning her hospital bed into a stage. Her confessionals were more dramatic than any episode of Love and Hip Hop. And then she dropped the cliffhanger that shook the internet. Her post ended with one sentence, "If they don't stop lying on me, I'll drop the videos." The internet exploded. Videos, one fan tweeted. Tamar has footage, screamed another. What did Mendeecees let happen that she caught on camera? Bloggers speculated instantly. Suddenly, Yandy and Mendeecees' silence grew heavier than ever. Because if Tamar had footage, if she had proof, everything they built could collapse. Fans didn't wait for clarification. They filled in the blanks themselves. They imagined the videos showing Kesha attacking, Yandy lurking, Mendeecees watching without lifting a hand. Now, the entire city was buzzing. Blogs refreshing Tamar's page every hour. Fans waiting for the drop. Because maybe the truth is messier than the rumors. Maybe silence has covered too much, and Tamar's silence had now turned into fire. So let's ask the real questions. If Tamar has no footage, why tease it? If Yandy is innocent, why won't she speak? If Mendeecees wasn't there, why won't he defend himself? And if Kesha never pulled up, why is everyone convinced she did? One thing is undeniable. Tamar Braxton is still lying in a hospital bed. Her teeth are gone. Her nose fractured. Her face swollen. But her voice is louder than all their silence combined. And now the world waits for the video, for the truth, for the explosion that could burn it all down. Because in Atlanta, secrets don't stay buried. They bleed, and this time, Tamar Braxton's blood is telling the story.